today's video, which I am super excited about because first of all, it's going to be a reading vlog, and as you can see from the title, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie has released her latest novel. It's been how many years? It's been like what, over 10 years? It's been a while, right? And this is one of my anticipated reads, and today is the release date. So I just reserved it at Barnes & Noble. I'm about to drive there now to get it. I'm just over the moon, you guys. You guys know my love for African literature. When I first started to get into reading, started this reading journey, African literature is where I gravitated towards, and I always say time and time again, they are amazing storytellers. If you are ever in a reading slump or don't know what to read next, you pick up an African literature book. Get you where you need to be. And Chimamanda was one of my first that I picked up, and I have been obsessed ever since. I am a huge fan. I've read all of her novels, including the critical analysis, including the picture book that she came out with last year, I believe. And I told you guys I did get an advanced copy of Dream Count, but it was not finished, and I don't like to read ARCs because I want to have like the finished product. So I was like, you know what, I'll just wait. And I think I got this like last month. So excited to get the Barnes & Noble edition because it has like the edges are orange, and then also I got a little $5 reward, so I'm going to be using that towards it. Also today when I was at work, I saw that Waterstones, which is in London, I believe, they had an exclusive interview with her, and she was talking about, the book and how, it came about and things of that nature. I'll put that interview down below. But yeah, this whole week I will be focusing on Dream Count. Really, you guys are going to be along with me to read this book. So let's go to Barnes & Noble and get it now. Okay, you guys, I just got my book, and just like when I went to get Harlem Rhapsody last month, and you guys know I didn't stay in there for no time, the same thing happened today. Same thing just happened now. I got my book and I'm like, I'm ready to go home and start reading it. But this is how it looks. And guys, look at the edges. This is the Barnes & Noble edition. It is so pretty. I love this picture. Love this picture. Yes, I cannot wait to read this, y'all. And it doesn't look like it's that long. Let's see. I gotta be careful. 393. Okay. Good amount of pages, good amount. I don't care how long it is. Y'all know how much I love Chimamanda, but yes. Now I'm ready to go home and start reading this. Okay, you guys, so it actually is the next day. You guys saw me get the book, and when I got the book, I end up afterwards not going straight home, and I'm going to my friend's house, and then I got back and started reading it, and I only got to, I don't even think I finished the first chapter. I didn't put a bookmark on here because I started reading it like in the bed, and then I was like, okay. But just from the little bits that I have read, I think the first 10 or 11 pages, already obsessed. And then I just looked it up today, and then I saw, I think was it yesterday, that it's already long listed for the Women's Prize. I'm like, girl, this book literally just came out yesterday. It came out on the 4th of March. It's already long listed. But yesterday, before I even got the book, I was listening to the interview I told you guys about yesterday, and you already know, like, those African names, I know for me, I have a very hard time, pronouncing them. So a lot of times what I do is I'll write the name down, and then I'll spell it the way I think that it sounds. So for example, one of the characters, her name is Chiramaka. So what I literally do is I spell out, the way it's spelled is Chiamaka. I literally wrote like cheer, maka, and I usually keep it in the book. So this is literally what I did. This is giving you precious, okay? But this is how I'm going to be able to pronounce these names. I think the only one I can pronounce is Zikora. But this book is following 4 women. They're all connected. And first you have Chimamaka. She is a Nigerian travel writer, and right now her section is set It's during the pandemic, and she's kind of having a little bit of writer's block, and she's just kind of stuck in the house. So far, I've only read her section. Then you have Zikora, which that is her best friend. And Zikora, back in 2020, Chimamanda wrote a short story called Zikora, and it was from the Amazon Shorts. And she is an attorney, and she is involved. If you did read that story, and also you guys know when I do my reading vlogs, they're non-spoilers. I don't like to give, spoilers away. I always say I like to read some passages so you guys can get a gist of the writing if you want to get it or not. So non-spoilers. But for Zikora, she was involved with a young man, and it kind of goes south. So it says you have Zikora. She is a attorney. She's living in the U.S., I believe DC, and it says she's successful at everything until betrayal and brokenhearted. She must turn to the one person she thought she needed least. Then you have Amalogo, and she is Chiramaka's cousin. Says bold, outspoken cousin is a financial powerhouse in Nigeria who begins to question how well she knows herself. And then lastly, you have Kediatu, and Kediatu is Chiramaka's housekeeper, and it says she is partly raising her daughter in America, but faces an unthinkable hardship that threatens all she has worked to achieve. And like I said, these characters are, interconnected. Injuring couch, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie trains her fierce eye on the women in a sparkling, transcendent novel that takes up the very nature of love itself. Is true happiness ever attainable, or is it just a fleeting state? And also, I'd say so far, just the, again, couple of pages that I have read, this is different than Americana. It's different than Half of the Yellow Sun. She's one of those authors where she doesn't write the same characters in different settings. I mean, her writing is fantastic, and I've read everything of Chimamanda's. And I would have to say my favorite is Americana. And secondly, it will be her first novel, Purple Hibiscus. I would say read all of her novels, to be honest. But if you don't want to read all of her novels, and if you don't know where to start, I would always put Americana. I'm going to read more tonight because I'm not going anywhere. I just got home from work. I really want to sit and read a good amount. And y'all know I got to have my tabs. I did bring them to work, but I didn't finish. Okay. So, of course, I'm going to do the orange because that goes with it. Yeah. Okay, yeah. And then I'm going to incorporate some blue. I could use these because this is dark. Do I have any light blue? Let me see. If I don't, it's right. No, okay. We're just going to use these. That's good enough. It's blue. Again, I'd be making this such a big deal, and it's not, but I'm really anal about this. So I got my tabs, and then I'll need to pick up a bookmark. Let me see which one I'm gonna do. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do girlfriends. I'm gonna do this bookmark, girlfriends. That's gonna be perfect. Okay, so I got my tabs, and I do want to have this with me. I'm gonna have these out actually. And then I was gonna do, I think I did show you guys my little, it's not a reading journal. I don't know what it is. It's just a notebook, a journal that I have been doing. It's kind of like scrapbooking a little bit, but not really. I did show y'all this. So it was a regular notebook, and I ended up decorating it like this. I just scotch taped, some of my favorite ebony magazines, but I don't think I showed you guys. So this is the first page, the cover page. I wanted the theme of like things that I watched growing up and like as a kid. Y'all know, old school. I watched stuff I had no business watching when I was younger. Like, what's love got to do with it? Waiting to Exhale, loved it. Then I did this one today. Y'all know, like Marvel in its pink. But I showed you guys this spread, yeah. I started with the Jesse Redmond Fawcett. So I was trying to do, you know what it is? It is kind of like a reading journal, because you guys know in some reading journals they'll have like, you know, pictures of the book, and they'll write like some of their favorite things that they some of their favorite, like, you know, quotes and all that. I don't want to do all that. That's why I never can keep up with the reading journal. But I said, if I print out pictures and have like and also have like the book that I read or a show that I watched. So for like the book, y'all know I read Harlem Rhapsody, talking about Jesse Fawcett. And then recently, last month, I watched the Self-Made Madam C.J. Walker's limited series on Netflix. So I did a little spread. Recently, I have been obsessed with Princess Margaret, Queen Elizabeth's sister. I watched a couple episodes of The Crown. I'm probably not gonna watch like from the beginning, because I just wanted to see Princess Margaret's story. I don't know how I got into her story. I don't know. But she just fascinates me. Okay, like she was like the rebel in that family. But I did a spread of hers yesterday. Like, and then I think I did this one today. This is Lee Raswell. This is Jacqueline Kenny Onassis' sister. I liked her story, and then also I liked her in the Truman Capote story that I was obsessed with last year. I realized I really like doing this, especially like after work, and also sometimes during work, just to take a break. It just like relaxes me, and I just like the way they look. Like, look at my spread of Wallace Thurman. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm going to take this makeup and stuff off and then start reading, because I really want to get into the story. Okay, you guys, so I have cracked into this more. I am on page 77. The chapters, it looks like it's really long. Well, she's doing like, because there's 4 women in this story. So the first story, she's focusing on Chiramaka. And then next is going to be Zikora. That's the one that I'm really looking forward to, because y'all know, like I told you guys about the short story that she came out with a couple years ago. I want to know her situation, and she's already hinted a little bit. Zikora, she is a traveling writer, and she is in, it looks like she's thinking about like her life, especially when it comes to relationships. And in the beginning, she's involved with a man named Darnell, and girl, he a mess. It was one section where her parents were coming to visit her, and they've been together for a while, right? And she asked him, like, you know, you want to come and see my, you know, parents, meet my parents? Oh no, you know, I don't want it to be awkward for you, or, you know. And she's like, I've been with you for a good amount of time, like, and I actually love you. And that's another thing too, like when she says, like, I love you, he's like, thank you, or okay. And she's like, I want you to tell me you love me back. And girl, she just forcing the situation. My thing is, in that case, girl, bye, because he don't want to be with you. And then also too, she comes from wealth. Like, her parents are extremely wealthy, and he acts like he doesn't like the fact that she has money or has parents that are wealthy, and almost kind of like buying his love. And he'll be like, oh no, you don't have to do that. But then he'll, you know, give in. He'll act like, you know, you don't have to do that, but then he'll still take the gifts, basically. He says, hey, you're trying to buy me. I laugh, but in a way I was. I paid for bottles of good wine, massages, restaurant meals, the cleaner for his apartment. Life-changing. He mocked himself for liking experiences he would have only if he stayed with me. It was a kind of bind. He was moody throughout the birthday trip, as though resentful of what he had accepted. So he kind of makes her feel guilty for like her parents, you know, coming from, you know, money and having wealth. And she's, you know, with his group of friends, and I think they're all American. And her cousin told her, you know, like, don't feel bad about, you know, your parents' wealth and things like that. And she says, she's talking about Americans. She says they can't stand rich people from poor countries because it means they can't feel sorry for you. Charlotte's not really like that, I said knowingly. I was shielding not Charlotte but Darnell. Our close friends are small glimpses into us. After all, we choose them. They are not grants from nature like relatives are. And being close to Charlotte said something about Darnell. So yeah, and I really like her cousin Amalago. She like says what she feels, and it looks like Chiramaka is really kind of reserved, doesn't want to offend people, doesn't want to hurt anyone, especially Darnell, because she doesn't want to lose him. And she almost feels like he's a gift to her. And her cousin's like, girl, no, not at all. And then you guys know, if you have read Chimamanda's work, she really do be shading Americans. Her being an African looking through, an African lens, when it comes towards Americans, it's like little stuff that we do, it just kind of annoys her. And I think also too, it's stuff that you're not aware of, especially if you are American. Oh, she says, why do these Americans say enjoy instead of eating? I enjoy it with cheese. I think you should enjoy it with a salad. How do you know I'm going to enjoy it? It's so presumptuous. It's from an entitled worldview. Which I'm like, I've said that plenty of times, but again, when you're American, you don't think about stuff like that. It's a part of um, our customs, how she says that Americans are so excited, we're so excited about everything. Yeah, she be shading us. You do read her. I know for me, she just makes me so aware of my Americanness. So I'm almost done with her section, because like I said, the next section is Zikora, which again, I'm really excited about her section. I'm kind of lightweight getting sick of Chiramaka. And I want another point of view. Which you are getting point of views through Chimamaka, because through Chimamaka, because she is introducing you to the other three ladies, and they're intertwined because Keriatu, that is her housekeeper. They're basically like sisters. And she trusts her. Malogo, who is her cousin, and then you have Zikora, who is her best friend. And yeah, so like I said, I'm really excited about Zikora's sections, because there are so many unanswered questions along with that short story. But so far, I am really liking this. I mean, it's Chimamanda. Come on now. Okay, you guys. So I am on Zikora's section. I finally made it to her section, and it does look like the way Chimamanda constructed this book, it's each woman gets like a chapter, so it kind of feels like short stories, which I love, but you still have them intertwined in each other's chapters. But with Zikora's situation, there has been some betrayal in her life that has affected her greatly. Betrayal pertaining to a past relationship. And there has been some consequences and some actions, towards that. And her relationship with her mother it's very dubious. It's a lot. Her mom is very she comes off as heartless, but she's not. She's just very, oh, I don't know. She's very straight to the point, where it does come off like, do you even care, basically. A little bit of her mom's background. Agreed to a um she agreed to her husband having a second wife, and of course she doesn't like that. And there was a section where it says, she was 9 when her father's second wife, Auntie, had her brother, your half brother, her mother always said. Auntie's house smelled deliciously of frying food. The baby was asleep. Will you eat plantains and fish? Auntie asked. Before Zikora could respond, her mother said politely, Zikora has eaten. Thank you. All the while, Zikora was breathing and dreaming plantains and fish. She had eaten lunch at home, but it was irrelevant. She told Auntie she was a little hungry, just a little. You know, children, Auntie said to Zikora's mother with a laugh. Zikora faced the plate and ate without looking at her mother. Once near the car, Zikora felt vertigo, a sensation of surprise rather than pain, as her mother's palm, full force, landed on her cheek. Don't disgrace me like that again, her mother said quietly. And then it goes on to the situation right now. This book, it's like past and present. Part of her mother's philosophy was to endure pain with pride, especially the kind of pain that belonged to women alone. When she had cramps as a teenager, her mother said, bear it. That is what it means to be a woman. Yeah, the girl's mom seemed like she was a nightmare. And I have to say, this section of Zikora, it's extremely similar to the short story. She just added like she just kind of changed a little bit of some words or whatever, but it's the same exact story right now. And like I told you, excuse me, with that short story, there is a cliffhanger. So that's really why I'm excited to see what's happening. But I haven't read this, but I haven't read Sakura, the short story, in like maybe 2 years. So it still feels like brand new to me. But let me continue to read. Okay, you guys. So I just finished reading Zikora's section, which I know there's going to be more. Let's pray that it's going to be more. We got a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of, well, I don't want to say closure because again, I'm only on page 157, and this book is like 300 and something, and yeah, with Sakura's story, like I told you guys, she was in a relationship that ended very abruptly. It didn't end well. It did not end well. It causes her right now to kind of look at men with that one lens of like, they are dogs. They're not reliable, they're not loyal, all that, because of her situation. But I remember I was telling you guys about Sakura's mother, how she can just be such a nightmare, where she does come off cold-hearted, but I don't think that's her intentions. That's just her personality. She's very, like straight lace, where, like I said, it does come off like, girl, do you care? But she says that, but you can tell that because of her situation that Sakura is in, she really is seeing her mother, especially when it comes in terms with her father and, her mother. And her mother is an educated woman. She runs schools, and she agreed for her husband to have like a second wife. And Zikora always blamed her mother for having her father leaving, just like abruptly. And she says now, as she's gotten older, and like I said, with her relationship status, she really does see her mother in a different light. And the person that she thought she would never turn to, she is turning to. And they have a relationship where like they're kind of just surface, you know what I mean? And I think also too, this relationship is a prime example of, you have to talk to your children, in this case your daughter, because she just did not know a lot of stuff that she should have known or just been aware of. And it was because her mom's kind of like, we don't talk about that. She always feels like she has to be on point with everything. And it was a section where, okay, wait, let me put my bookmark here. Look at you. You have always been so strong. Now strong and successful. Look at you. Zikora tried to hide her surprise. Her mother thought she was strong. All she remembered was critical words like an open flame against her skin. The feeling of never being enough, always aware of the many holes she had dug in her mother's expectations. I could never have managed exclusive. Oh, okay, wait, we can say that part. But yeah, again, the fact that he was so surprised and shocked that, when her mother made that statement about her being strong, because her mother has never just said, like, I'm proud of you, you know, and, like I said, their relationship is extremely surfaced, okay? And even when she goes, to university in the States, things that about, like sex, that was not discussed. And she got herself in a situation that it could have been avoided. That's like one thing that I would say in this book is not only motherhood, but the mother and daughter relationship, how crucial it can be, how it can be an example of how it can, navigate, your life, because a lot of times you are a product of your environment. You see what your parents have done, and especially with daughters, you see what your mother, did and didn't do. And this book has, opened my eyes to just talking to your parents and having an open communication, and also for a child feeling like they can talk to, their parents. I know for me, I felt like I could talk to, my aunts. I was raised by my aunts and my grandmother, because my mom died when I was 8. And for a brief time, I lived with my dad, and I didn't want to talk to him, couldn't talk to him. But I remember, going to live with my aunts, and it was always an open communication. There was no judgment. I felt like I could talk to them, and did talk to them. And as a result, even, at my big age of being 33, a lot of times I would think, what would they say if I did this or whatever? And I'm like, girl, you grown. You know what I mean? You grown. And also too, they not here no more. They have gone on, from this earth, and I'm still thinking about, some of the things that my grandmother and my aunts have, taught me through the years, and the fact that I could be open, with them. I think that is a blessing, and a lot of people don't have that. It's so sad just to think about, and like I said, this has really opened my eyes. And the next woman that I am on is, okay, wait, let me see how you say her name. Kadiotu. I know I'm butchering these names. But that one, Chimamanda said that she really had to take her time in writing this story, and like that character is very precious to her, because it is loosely, and I say loosely based on a real life woman that I looked it up this morning, because y'all know every time a author comes out with a book, if I can find interviews, I listen to I listen to them and really engross myself with the author along with reading the book. But it actually was a true story. It was a scandal. Okay, I know I'm gonna butcher his name. Dominique Kahn. I'll put his picture up here. He was a French economist and politician, but he was involved in several sex scandals. So back in 2011, I think, yeah, he resigned because allegedly he assaulted a hotel maid, and the charges got dropped, but she was the first woman to like come public with it, and actually sued, and did get a settlement. It was like, settled out of court, because they did find and they did have evidence. They found, some specimens of him, and her case was dismissed, and the charges were dropped because she had lied about getting to America, I guess, with her visa and all that stuff like that. Like, yeah. And she was undocumented. I did look her up. She actually still is in the Bronx, and she opened a restaurant. But the fact that, her case got dismissed because they were like, well, you lied about coming to America, so are you, lying about this situation? It's so crazy because, like I said, they found evidence, and it was other women that were involved, you know, with him, that he had sexually assaulted. And yeah, look, no shade, he looked like he, do some little nasty stuff like that. But her story is loosely based, because she said that in an interview, like, it's not the same, situation that happened. I just wanted to kind of get some inspiration. But yeah, I had never heard of that man before. Yeah, I thought that was interesting when I was listening to her interview this morning. So again, with her story, she is the friend and like housekeeper Chiramaka, and she has a daughter, and she came to the United States to have a better life for, her and her child, especially her daughter. So yeah, that's all I know right now, because I'm literally in the beginning stages of her story. Because you guys, when I do read, I like to put on a reading sprint, and I always use Mel Reed's reading sprint. She has one that's 40 minutes, and then she has like a 10-minute break, and then you go back into, the reading sprint. So I just finished the first one. I'm gonna go back in the second one. Hopefully I can finish Kediatu's section, but if I don't, it's fine. I can just, read some tomorrow, because this is the first time I have read today, and it's 10:52, but I kind of want to get this done because I want to know what's going to happen. As you can see, I have tabbed this to death. Y'all look at this. So, yeah. Okay, you guys. So I just finished Kediatu's section, and it was much. Trigger warning for her section or story. It's dealing with sexual assault. So if that's difficult for you to read, yeah, that's one of the themes in Dream Count. And yeah. She is an immigrant that comes to America. She has a young daughter, and she comes to America to give her daughter the best life that she can possibly, give her when it comes to education, and just when it comes to the access of, being in the US. And something horrible happens. And it's so sad because she has established her life. She is a domestic. She's doing really well for herself. She has her own apartment. She has her own car. She's able to send money home and just is thriving, you know what I mean? And now she has friends, and it's just a situation that is so unfortunate that literally turns her world upside down, and it is heartbreaking. It honestly is. Yeah. I can understand now why Chimamanda said that she took her time with writing her story. She is the most precious, the most fragile character, the one that she really had to take care of. I am excited to get to the last section, which talks about Amalago. I know, again, I'm butchering these names. Because she is a force to be reckoned with. She is really like you know blunt. And there was a section where she was asking Kediatu about her dreams or something. Let me read it to you. Caddy, what is your dream? My dream? She was not sure she understood. Yes. What do you want to do with your life if you could choose anything? She shrugged. I love my job. I'm so happy to come to this country so Binta, that's her daughter, can have this country. Don't be so grateful, Amalago snapped. America is not that wonderful, and you are not here for free. You're working, and you're a part of what makes America America. Kediatu said yes, just to calm Amalago down. I was reading about your country. And then she goes into a whole situation. And like I told you, she's real blunt. She kept on asking her, it says one day Amalago asked her, Caddy, where did you learn about sex? And then she says, Kediatu had come in to turn on the security lights, and Amalago looked up from her laptop and asked, Caddy, where did you learn about sex? Kediatu kept her face free of expression. My sister Banta, she told me what husband and wife is about. There's some more tea right there that I don't want to read because I don't want to ruin it for you guys. But yeah, again, she's just so blunt, and she just, yeah, she's like that. Also, I was telling you guys in the beginning that Shiramaka was kind of like a little bit to me. I'm starting to, but I actually now am really liking her. She is extremely wealthy. She comes from wealth, but she like Zikora said, she's so like unspoiled. It's kind of like my family is wealthy. That's it, She doesn't care about like the status of it. But the way that they met, I thought it was really cute. What is your name? The daughter asked, smiling, surprising Kediatu. She must have lived a long time in America. Rich Africans never ask the names of servants. I'm Kediatu, she said. Oh, you're African, the daughter said. I wasn't sure. Your hair is so neat. Where did you braid it? The daughter asked. Kediatu said that she braided it herself. Followed more adoration from the daughter and numbers exchanged. The daughter's name was Chiramaka, and she said her parents were staying in the suite because she had started remodeling the kitchen in their home and hadn't finished. It seemed to Keriatu too much information, but Americans did that all the time. They gave details that nobody had asked them for, and Chiramaka must have lived Chiramaka must have lived a long time in America. Again, Chimamanda, she be doing the Americans, okay? But I'm like, girl, look, anyway, I'm proud to be an American. But yeah, again, her section, it is difficult if you can't digest well when it comes to, sexual assault. Again, it is a trigger warning. But I am going to go to sleep because I have been reading for the past like 2 hours. And then also after reading Keriatu's section, I just kind of want to, first of all, clear my mind, watch something that is fun. And yeah, I only have like 100 and some pages to go because I do want to finish this week. But let me go to sleep because I gotta get up in the morning to go to this good job. And yeah, let me watch something that is not so serious. Okay, you guys, so I finally finished Dreamcoat. I finished it at like 12 or something this morning. And I would give it a solid 3 stars. Now, if you've never read Chimamanda before, I would, in my opinion, I would say don't pick this up. Read her earlier, works. This is a Chimamanda novel. If you are used to her writing, used to her style, you'll say, okay, yeah, she is always going to write about women, which I absolutely adore and love. Out of the 4 women, I would say probably Zikora was my favorite. And I wouldn't say favorite. I just was familiar with her because of the short story. But probably her and then Chiramaka. I really did like her character. Keriatu, I just felt so sorry for. But then it worked out. And it wasn't the reaction that you thought that you were going to get, but I still did feel really better, about her situation and what went on, with her. And Amalago, Amalago is just Amalago, you know what I mean? And she's not as tough as she, seems. She is vulnerable. She still is a person that's gonna tell it like it is. I don't care what you think, and I just love the fact that every time when you meet her, she go ask you, where did you learn about sex? And if you read it, you know what I'm talking about. Overall, this is a really good book. At first, you did get some closure about Zikora's situation, because that was the main one I was really focused on. And you know what, at first I was kind of like, wait, But then I said, that would happen in real life. I know people that have done that. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate, but her, she just moved on. And it was like, it is what it is. I'm being around the bush because I don't want to ruin, that part, which I don't think it's a spoiler, but at the same time, yeah, no, I want you guys to experience it on your own. And then also, I think I just was so geeked that Chimamanda, came out with another book. This has been 10 years since she has written a fictional book, and I'm here for it. I've been watching, interviews and everything. Yeah, I would say pick up this book. This is a book that's worth picking up. You could see I have tabbed it and everything. I did want to show you guys a collection of her works. So this is her first book, Purple Hibiscus. This is really good. It does not read like a first novel. This came out in 2003, I believe. And this one, you do got to get your mind right. You have a father, you have a family, a young girl and a young boy. Their father is heavy religious, where some stuff he does is off, and it's like, no, that's not godly. That's not of God. I don't know where you got that from, but no, that's not of God. And he does some things that just, oh Lord, is horrible. And this one it's a twist. It's a twist to it. And I remember when I first read it, I was like, oh, okay. The young girl, she seeks refuge from a priest. And at first I thought, oh Lord, it's gonna be one of them stories. No, it's not. No, that she just needed somebody to talk to. So yeah, this highly recommend. Her next book was Half of the Yellow Sun, and this is about the Biafran War that happened in Nigeria in the 1960s. And the backdrop is the Biafran War, but it is a love story. It is about two sisters. They are twins, and you would say they're fraternal twins. And oh Lord, betrayal, love, envy. What else? Mainly the betrayal. Um, yeah, Kainene. I want to know what happened to Kainene. I want to know, which I have a feeling. Yeah. That got me right there. Ooh, that got me. But also, this has a movie, and the movie was good. Did it? I'm trying to see. Did it leave out a lot? No, it honestly didn't leave out a lot. No, because you got the gist of the story. Of course, I would say read the book, then watch, the movie. But Tandy Newton is one of the sister, and Anika Noni Rose is the other sister. She's Kanene. The guy that played in 12 Years of a Slave, he's the husband of one of the sisters. And yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. Again, like I said, I would read the book, then watch the movie. But because it is worth watching in my opinion. But yes, this is her second book. Her third book, which is one of my favorites, is Americana. I would say if you haven't read anything by Chimamanda, I honestly would pick this up. I would pick Americana up. This is her true, style. The thing, like I told you guys earlier, she, writes different characters in different settings. This has nothing to do with Half of the Yellow Sun, with Purple Hibiscus. Efemalu and the Benzane, they are nothing, like the characters in her other books. I didn't get no Efemalu in Dream Count. This is also a love story where you have two people they met as, young people, and they fall in love, start a relationship. One goes to America for school, and the other, they go to the UK. And this also talks about immigration, being undocumented. It talks about when Efemalu comes to America, how she's just becomes so aware of a lot of the things that us Americans do and say. And yeah, again, like I said, she be shading us a little bit, but it's just her observation. Love it though. Yeah, this is my favorite. And she has a way of like, you get closure, but at the same time she kind of dangles a little bit, where you're kind of like, where it is an open ending, but you're still somehow satisfied. And that's the same way where I felt with Dream Count, where there's still answers, there's still questions that need to be answered, but you're still satisfied. You still have closure. That's just how she writes. That's the beauty of her writing. And with this, yeah, you will get that, especially with their relationship. I need to visit this again because I haven't read this since I was in my 20s. Yeah. So yeah, that is her third fictional book. And then she came out with We Should All Be Feminists. This was on t-shirts. Beyonce sampled a part of this speech, a manifesto about being a feminist. She said that her friend had a baby and emailed her and asked her, how do I raise my child as a feminist? This is what came out of it. And the next is Notes on Grief. This came out, I want to say 2021, because her father had passed during the pandemic. And if you know anything about Chimamanda, she is extremely close to her parents. And not only did she love her parents, but she liked her parents. And she just talks about, you know, how she grieved. And it was so sad because, like, after her father died, I think a year later, her mother ended up passing. So it was like she didn't even catch a break. Okay, guys, real quick, when I was editing the video, I forgot to mention that Chimamanda also came out with a collection of short stories called The Thing Around Your Neck. And this came out after Half of a Yellow Sun. And there's 12 short stories in this. I really enjoyed this. If you are into short stories, I would say obviously pick this up. I would not pick this up if you never read Chimamanda. Like if it's your first time reading, like I said earlier, pick up Americana. Americana would be my choice in, you know, my opinion. But yeah, this fantastic. Again, if you are into short stories, I would really recommend this. Okay, let's get back to her other works. And then her children's book, which I actually, surprisingly, I won this on Goodreads. You know how like Goodreads they have you can enter a giveaway. Of course I was gonna get it even if I didn't, you know, win it. It's called Mama's Sleeping Scarf. It is such a cute children's book. I would say if you do have a little one, pick this up. Take a look at this. That is just too precious. And look, this is real perfect for a black child because we, you know, we wear our scarves and it's so cute. Yeah, this is such a cute little story. Yeah, that is all of Chimamanda's works, all her collections. And again, like I said, I would recommend, you know, Dream Count. It was a good solid read. Yeah, guys, that is it. I am rambling. I just wanted to give a rundown on her. I just wanted to give you guys a rundown on her catalog. So yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you, and I'll be back with more Black books.